You think the battle is out there. You think the enemy has a face, a name, a body. You are wrong. The true enemy is within. It wears your voice. It whispers hesitation when you must move. It offers comfort when you must suffer. It demands ease when you must endure. And every time you obey it, you lose, not to the world, but to yourself. You cannot master the battlefield until you master your breath. You cannot defeat others until you defeat the voice that tells you to wait, to doubt, to shrink. This is the first truth of the warrior. Control the mind, or be controlled by it. Conquer the mind, not with violence, but with stillness. Not with rage, but with awareness. The mind is not your enemy until you surrender to it. A weak mind creates false enemies. It blames, it avoids, it reacts. A strong mind moves in silence. It observes, it decides, it endures. If you do not control your thoughts, they will control your life. They will pull you into war after war against shadows, against ghosts, against illusions you created. The sword is not the weapon, the mind is. Because a sword in the hands of fear will always swing too early or too late. But a sword guided by a calm mind strikes once and ends it. This is why the warrior trains the mind before the hand, before the blade, before the enemy ever appears. Because the first enemy you meet is your own resistance, your own doubt, your own fear of silence. Conquer it, or it conquers you. Do not treat your mind as noise. Treat it as terrain. Every storm, every impulse, every doubt, just weather moving through. You do not have to chase every thought. You do not have to believe every fear. Let them pass. Let them move like clouds over a still mountain. You are the mountain. The warrior who reacts is weak. The warrior who waits is powerful. When emotion surges, breathe. When panic rises, stillness. When rage tempts you, silence. Because he who acts from impulse becomes a slave to what moves him. But he who sees the movement without being moved has already won. The battle is not to stop the mind from speaking. It is to stop yourself from obeying every word it says. Most will try to conquer others because they are afraid to face themselves. They build armor over their body, but none over their thoughts. They fear enemies that strike from the outside, but never defend against the traitor within. The untrained mind will always choose comfort over growth, certainty over truth, revenge over discipline. You must train it. You must stand over it as a commander stands over a battlefield. Let no weak order pass. Let no fear speak unchecked. Let no comfort command you. If you do not master your inner world, you will lose every war in the outer one. The sword is only as sharp as the mind that swings it. And so you wake early. You sit with silence. You suffer repetition. You observe your thoughts until they hold no power over your posture. The enemy may scream, the world may burn, but the mind stays still. That stillness, that is your advantage. That is your weapon. That is what no army, no man, no storm can take from you. Because when others break under pressure, you move. When others panic, you strike. Not out of rage, not out of fear, but from a place deeper than emotion. A place built in solitude, forged in discipline, and sharpened in silence. The greatest war is fought in silence, and the battlefield is your own mind. There are no banners here, no blood, no cheers, only choices. No one will see the moment you win. When you resist the urge to speak, to lash out, to give in. But it matters. It matters more than any victory the world can see. Because the self is the only enemy that rises again every morning, disguised in comfort, in distraction, in pride. And every morning, you must defeat it again. Not with violence, but with vigilance. Wake early, even when tired. Train, even when uninspired. Move, even when afraid. Discipline is not one great moment. It is many quiet ones, stacked, repeated, lived. The warrior does not wait for motivation. He builds momentum through obedience to his own code. Because emotion is fleeting, but your code is eternal. The world may never reward this. That's the point. You do it not to be seen, but to see yourself clearly. To look in the mirror each night and know, I won today. Not against others, but against the weaker version of me. That version who sleeps in, who seeks ease, who demands praise, who fears discomfort, who hides in distraction. You must kill him daily. Each time you show up when it would have been easier not to, you bury that self deeper. And in his place, a stronger you rises, built in silence, hardened by choice, unbreakable by design. When you master the mind, you no longer chase the world. You no longer need to win arguments, to prove yourself, to conquer men. You have already won, because the man who controls his thoughts cannot be provoked. The man who controls his breath cannot be broken. The man who walks alone with a calm mind and a steady gaze is already feared, even in silence. This is what it means to conquer the mind, to no longer react, to no longer reach, to no longer run. There is no more battle, because nothing moves you that you have not chosen. You are not above others. You are beneath yourself, rooted, not floating, not swayed, not chasing. The enemy may scream, but you do not hear. The world may tempt, but you do not follow. The storm may rise, but you are still. That stillness is earned, forged through years of war within. It cannot be given. It cannot be bought. It can only be built, one disciplined moment at a time. Others may conquer kingdoms, but you have conquered the only empire that matters, the empire within. That is the final victory, the invisible crown, the silent throne, not won with force, but with mastery, not with followers, but with focus, not through domination, but through discipline. So walk the way, not with pride, but with peace, not with anger, but with awareness, not to conquer others, but to remember. You were never at war with them. You were always at war with yourself, and now that war is over.